Beauties. So here I am today with a much awaited product review video. Yes, as you already read by the title, today I'm going to review a bunch of products from Dot & Key. And mind that all these products are bought by my own money. You can check out my haul video if you haven't. I got a majority of these products from the Nykaa Hot Pink sale, and I've been trying these out for 4 to 5 weeks approximately. So the review is completely unbiased, honest, non-sponsored, everything of that sort. So yeah, I did purchase these products from the intention of reviewing them, but I of course wanted to give each product a fair chance. Thereby I have been using these over a month now, and I've formulated my honest opinion based solely on the product and its ingredients, and no bias in there. So to know more, please keep on watching. That's already a freaking long ass intro. Let's get right into it. Regardlessly, I know it's going to be a slightly longer video, so I'm going to leave timestamps right on the screen so that you can skip to one particular product if you want. So we're gonna go from my least favorite product to my most favorite product from the range. And to begin with, very sadly, because I really had high hopes from this product, is the Dot & Key Glow Revealing Vitamin C Concentrate. So it comes in this serum dropper kind of packaging, and I'm gonna show you the texture of the product real quick. So it's a pretty runny, lightweight and very silky sort of a serum. It's very runny, very watery, nothing like too thick in consistency. So yeah, that is that. So I'm not gonna go over the packaging controversy about Dot & Key and just talk about the actual product and the ingredient list. So this vitamin C serum retails for 975 rupees, which is not super expensive but not super affordable as well. It's somewhere in the mid-range, but do hear out my review before spending your hard-earned money. I want to firstly point out a couple of concerns with Dot & Key as a brand. Like, something's common across their range. They don't have the ingredient list, like the complete ingredient list mentioned on either the backside of the product or the outer packaging. So I actually had to refer to their personal website to get to know what's actually in my product, and the usual layman consumer is not that active and would not really go and search for what's really in there, and there might be some things that could react to your skin. So not just as a blogger but as a consumer, a skincare freak, I would really request the brand to have the complete ingredient list on the backside of the product. So I always recommend people to flip the product and read the ingredients, but they're just not there. And another big turn off was that all the products by Dot & Key are highly fragrant. It's not like a very mild fragrance, it's fragrant, like it's perfume. So that is something, like, I personally hate fragrance in my skincare because my skin personally reacts to skincare. I know a lot of people, you know, are okay with fragrance in their skincare, but some people who judge creams and serums by like, this smells so good, I wish I could help you. For those of you who don't know, your skincare is not supposed to smell like roses and lilies and lemons and oranges and all those stuff, because fragrance essentially has no benefits, no skin benefits. It's just for your nostrils, and you can do without that. Moreover, fragrance reacts with some people. Like me personally, I have pretty congestion prone skin, so my skin gets easily affected and reactive to fragrances. So I just avoid that in totality, and I would highly recommend you to do it as well. Trust me, everything that I'm going to say is backed by science and facts, and as per a couple of studies, fragrance leads to deterioration of your skin in the longer run. So thereby you might not see immediate damage on your skin, or you may as well, but in the longer run, perfume and alcohol, these two ingredients in your skincare are a big no-no. Okay, on to the main product. So the ingredient list is gonna be right here on the screen, and it's a 15% vitamin C serum with silicone suspension. And vitamin C in silicone suspension basically means that it is a more stabilized form of vitamin C. That is, it does not oxidize, which is great for like the product to last you longer. It's not gonna oxidize. And along with 15% vitamin C, it claims to contain 90% of hyaluronic acid. And I have a lot to say today about the percentage of hyaluronic acid and this whole conception of the higher the percentage of hyaluronic acid, the better. Just wait for it, okay? So it clearly seems pretty gimmicky to me, and coming down the main factor why it's in my least favorite product, like a vitamin C serum in my least favorite products, does not go pretty well. But I have a reason. So this product contains two of my least favorite ingredients, that are arbutin and glutathione. And these are basically, in the most literal sense, two skin whitening or lightening agents. So they're gonna lighten your skin tone over a period of time. And did you know that any sort of usage of glutathione, whether it's ingestion of glutathione tablets or topical use of glutathione, it is supremely bad for your skin and could even cause skin cancer. I'm surely going to list the studies and the sources for this information down in the description. The biggest turn off with this product has to be two ingredients, arbutin and glutathione. Those products are not meant to touch your skin. They are skin lightening, whitening agents, and thereby probably the short-term brightening effect that you see on your skin is just the topical use of glutathione, which is genuinely harmful for your skin in the longer run. I'm not even talking from like a moral stand ground, like don't use skin whitening products. It's cancer for your skin. In the most literal sense, I'm gonna list all the studies and sources down in the description box below. And as a generic rule in all skincare products, all the ingredients must be mentioned in the descending order of their percentages. And I slightly doubt that. I mean, it's a little shabby. The ingredients are like listed here and there, and there's like very small percentages of some ingredients that it is advertised as. Additionally, it also contains a lot of natural root extracts, so you also have to be careful that you're not allergic to any of those. And here are the pros and cons for this product. So the next product that I have is the Water Drenched Hyaluronic Acid Serum Concentrate with acai berry and Bulgarian rose. So this retails for 895 rupees and again contains 30 ml of product. And this serum claims to be a 90% hyaluronic acid concentrate, which either is a false claim or secondly is irrelevant and non-effective. I'll explain how and why. And when you go to our dearest of all, Google, you will find many reports by actual dermats. When you study those reports, you will find that the hyaluronic acid percentage in your serums, moisturizers, any topical product should not be more than a maximum of 2.5%. Any more than that makes the product non-effective in totality. And again, all these studies will be linked down in the description box, so do check that out. And even going by the pioneers in the skincare industry, The Ordinary also has a hyaluronic acid serum with 2% hyaluronic acid plus B5 if I'm not wrong. So no serious dermatologically tested skincare product is supposed to have any beyond that 2 or 2.5% of hyaluronic acid. So practicing dermats recommend a 1 to a maximum of 2.5% hyaluronic acid to see a notable difference, and any beyond that 2.5% of hyaluronic acid loses its effectiveness, and it's either a false claim by the company or the product is not as effective. Moreover, a good grade 90% hyaluronic acid can rather dry up your skin instead of hydrating it. So the hyaluronic acid serum is meant to be applied on damped skin and end up with like a thick layer of moisturizer to lock in the hydration. And if hyaluronic acid serum, like a generic any hyaluronic acid serum, is applied on dry skin, it instead sucks the moisture out of your skin and dehydrates it, even if it's a 2%. So the correct way is also very important. Regardlessly, using all the correct measures to use this product, I did not see any visible results. Moreover, it was just not enough hydrating, and or I felt that my skin was getting dehydrated and losing moisture very quickly throughout the day and even night. Like, I would not wake up with nicely plump skin. My skin would feel dry when I would wake up, and that's the opposite of what a good hydrating hyaluronic acid serum should do. And regardlessly, skincare is very subjective, so something that works for me might or might not work for you. So use your own money where you want to spend your coin, and always patch test a new product so that you don't break out, sis. And with that being said, and next up is the Dot & Key Skin Plumping Water Infusion Sleeping Mask, and I'm going to quickly do a texture shot for the same. It's very runny and has a gel based consistency. I'm just gonna rub that on my arm. so my hands feel pretty moisturized, as you can see. So this product comes very close to the renowned Laneige water sleeping mask, and I guess was compared by Shreya Jain in one of her videos, and that is the reason I got my hands on this one. An unpopular opinion, or I don't know, a sleeping mask is honestly not a necessity. I mean, if you have a good enough hydrating moisturizer, you do not need a sleeping mask. However, this pretty much feels like a lightweight gel-based moisturizer named as a sleeping mask. So if you belong to the normal to oily skin category, probably it could serve as a nice lightweight gel moisturizer, but for drier skin people, this is not enough. And ideally it is supposed to be the last step in your skincare, that is toner, serum, moisturizer, and then your sleeping mask. Okay, so the list of ingredients is right here. Again, it's a silicone based suspension, thereby it's the same lightweight gel texture, very watery kind of formula throughout the product range. Throughout the 3 products that I've reviewed till now have a very similar texture because all these are silicone based suspensions. It also claims to be infused with hyaluronic acid, but the percentage is not disclosed, so a bummer right there. I really want to be aware of the percentages of all the actives and key ingredients in my skincare. Like, as a consumer, I need to know that. And when going through their FAQs on their website, it says that it only contains natural fragrance of Bulgarian roses and not any artificial fragrance, whereas perfume is mentioned somewhere in the middle in the ingredient list. That's slightly shady. And other than that, it contains cucumber extracts, chamomile extracts, and Bulgarian rose essential oils, and a couple of other flower extracts. So that is pretty much it. I honestly do not see a lot of skin benefit from the ingredients, and neither did I feel it from the usage. The only factor was that, yeah, it's good as a moisturizer for normal to oily skin people, but for dry skin people this is not enough according to me. And yes, before anyone else says this, yes, I'm very picky with my skincare and ingredients, so yeah. Additionally, since both the serums, the hyaluronic acid and the vitamin C, as well as the water sleeping mask, is also high on fragrance, so that led to breakouts on my skin, and I still have slight marks of the same. If you can see closely, yeah, my skin got some sort of marks here and there. Especially here, I got some sort of major acne situation happening. I did click some pictures, so I'm gonna insert them somewhere on the screen. And for my second least favorite product, we have the tinted SPF 50 by Dot & Key. This is the mousse hydrating sunscreen in the shade Natural Nude. It has a hint of tint in there, like ever so slightly, that actually just gets absorbed into your skin and gives you this natural sheer glow more than like coverage. So yeah, and this is what both my hands look in comparison. This one is with the sunscreen on and this is without the sunscreen, so it's slightly deeper from my hand and stuff, but yeah, it would suit a majority of the skin tones, and it's just a very slight tint for like an overall sheer glow kind of situation. So this contains 30 ml of product and retails for 995 rupees. It has SPF 50 and that also protects from UVA and UVB rays. And I know a majority of you don't even know what's UVA and UVB rays. Nothing to be ashamed of. Even I did not know for a good long time. So basically, UVA rays lead to skin aging and deterioration of the skin cells and barrier, whereas UVB rays causes sunburns and tan. Again, it's a silicone based product, contains a lot of natural root extracts, and has those 2 annoying ingredients, that is glutathione and arbutin. This really makes me doubt my choice or whatever. I was genuinely enjoying this sunscreen just before I read the ingredient list. This product also contains glutathione and arbutin, again a skin brightening lightening agent, and can cause some real damage to your skin in the longer run, so not really recommended. I have the Melt Away Makeup Removal Balm by Dot & Key. It is 50 ml of product and it retails for 750 rupees. Again, can I just say it's not my favorite, but it's like best of the lot. I mean, I'm no different, and I have also been an uninformed, non-vigilant skincare consumer in the past, and in the past I really loved this balm thereby. It's legit empty, and this contains coconut oil as its third key ingredient in terms of percentages, so that's a very high percentage of coconut oil in there. And basically coconut oil is a very cheap ingredient to put in there, and also it solidifies it into a balmy consistency. And using a coconut oil based makeup remover on your skin is not at all recommended, because it could be highly comedogenic. It can clog your pores and cause acne, which surely you don't want, I mean. Additionally, something that I am not particularly sensitive to, but some people are, so I just want to keep it out there, that it also contains some citrus essential oils such as lime oil and neroli oils. So these citrusy essential oils could be irritant to sensitive skin types. And yeah, that is that. Honestly, it performed really well on my skin. Like, while using it, I never felt it's a bad product, thereby I like completely used it up. But when I read the ingredients, that is sadly after completing like the entire jar, coconut oil makeup based remover, I would personally not recommend and never repurchase. And yes, in no sense it's a brand bashing video. I don't believe in the cancel culture or throwing hate and shade at anybody. So it's just my constructive feedback and criticism to the brand. If you really want the brand to hear it, do share this video to the brand's page. They might hear us. We as consumers have a lot of power, and we can actually use our voice for the better, for more Indian brands to level up their game. So yeah. And lastly, one thing I want to say to you all, be vigilant consumers. Please flip your product around and read the ingredient list on the product. If you can't find it on the product, go to the brand's personal website, do your research well before spending your hard-earned coin into any product, skincare or makeup. So yeah, that is that. And also, if you have any holy grail product from Dot & Key, do enlist it in the comments below. I would like to see if there is something more for me to try from. And yeah, so with that I conclude my review for Dot & Key. Out of all the 5 products, you guys pretty much already know I'm not a huge fan of any of them in particular. Like, there's no single product that I'm like, dude, you should get this. Not really. It's not necessary that I should, you know, always love one product from a brand. I mean, I don't like it, and that's my honest review. It did not work for me. The ingredients do not resonate with me and my skin type. So yeah, if you would like to see more such knowledge heavy ingredient based product reviews, because sorry, but I've seen a lot of product reviewers being like, this product smells so nice, oh my god, you need to get this. And I'm like, you don't have to put that fragrance on your skin, my friend. So for some more honest and backed by science product reviews, do leave in a comment down below. So yeah, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next one.